Hey, welcome to another episode of Chad's Beer Reviews. Another Skype review and interview, this time with.
Birichi Tuba.
Now, I
Yeah.
said that because you go by a couple names, and I thought it'd be best if you introduced whatever name you want to go by.
Yeah. Yeah, I know it's confusing, but y'all could just call me Winchin. I don't care about my identity being stolen or anything.
Right. This beer, we're doing the Russian River Blind Pig.
Yep.
This was sent to
Bam.
this was sent to me from Ryan Stumpy Joe Jr. So thanks, Ryan. Another member of the Beer Geek Nation that you're a part of. This is it's an IPA, but it's only 6.1%, so it's
Yeah.
like a single or traditional American IPA.
Right. Whereas Pliny the Elder is a imperial.
Right.
Mhm.
It's a very long description on the bottle. I'm not going to read it all, so let's say we just get pouring here.
Yeah. Yeah. Might as well. Excuse me. I need to get my wallet. Don't mind the crotch. Okay.
I don't know how yours looks, but mine is like gold. It's almost like the same color as my shirt. Not quite that yellow, but
Yeah.
it's very very gold for an IPA.
Mhm.
Usually they're orange.
Yeah, very gold, pretty clear. I mean, it's maybe somewhat hazy. The carbonation's going up pretty fast, but it is a relatively clear IPA.
Yeah. Smells very similar to Pliny.
Yeah, actually, it does. It is very reminiscent of Pliny, for sure. Actually, to me, it smells almost exactly like Pliny the Elder. It's very grapefruity, like
Yeah.
maybe specifically like yellow grapefruit kind of smell. Some pine to back it up, but citrus is definitely the focus of this beer for sure.
Yeah, you know what it smells like is stone ruination too. Well, let's say we dive into this, huh?
All right,
Kampai, as you would say.
Yeah. Mm.
I mean, it tastes exactly like what I was expecting. It's just West Coast IPA all the way.
Mhm. Yeah.
The first thing I noticed was how, like, it's very very bitter. Do you know the IBU on this?
No, I don't actually. Um, I don't think they put it on here.
Like I was like I compared the smell to Stone Ruination. It's actually almost kind of that bitter, but it's only 6.1% ABV. It's amazing that it's still like it's this strong.
Hmm. Yeah, I think the hops are definitely pretty strong in this one. When I had it in the past, it had a little more malt backbone to this,
Yeah.
whereas this time is a very very bright hop bite to it. It's definitely good, but it's definitely a more bright citrusy bitter IPA that, just like you said, it's actually very similar to Stone's Ruination. At least with this batch, definitely has that.
Yeah, this reminds me a lot of Southern Tier 2X IPA. I don't know if you've had that yet.
No, I haven't had that one. No.
Very similar. It has like that what I like to call
Mm.
iced tea kind of taste to it. Do you get it's got to be from the malts. Like
Mm.
it tastes like a very dry hopped IPA. It's
Yeah.
because it's that dry bitterness, some citrus and floral across the middle, and the hops linger here, but they're not like obnoxious.
Yeah. Well, mine, mine is like right right before you said dry, I'm just like, wow, it's really dry. It has this dry hoppiness I'm starting to get as I'm drinking it more and more.
Yep.
And this is actually pretty different from the other blind pigs I have had, especially on tap, because being in San Francisco, we could get it on tap fairly easily. And this IPA in the past tend to have more, just a little bit more malt backbone to it. So like I would say has more balance in that way, and it's also somewhat creamy too. It has a creamy, I should say, creamy mouth feel
Yeah,
rather than
like a
creamy
creamy
taste.
texture.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of that's one of the creamiest heads on an IPA I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
It's frothy, I guess would be the proper word.
Uh-huh.
I do notice that the mouthfeel is it's a little thin.
Hmm.
It's thinner than I'd expect. I would not call this a crisp beer.
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking watery in the beginning, but then it was just like the hops started coming up, so it started having that brighter character. The hops was able to cut through a lot more because
Yeah.
it's a lot clearer tasting or watery, you could say.
Yeah, it's funny you said watery because I was like, it kind of tastes watery, but I don't want to say that.
Yeah, I know. But then when you said it first, and I was just like, yeah, you know what? It really did. But at the same time, like as you drink it more, it became more enjoyable rather than oh, it's like a watery lager. It's good. My personal opinion with this batch is that just like I said, it's really bright, very crisp citrus. But it was I don't know. I don't enjoy it as much as I usually do, because the Blind Pig by Russian River is one of my
Right.
top favorite regular IPAs, along with Green Flash's West Coast IPA. So
Yeah, you could
yeah.
probably, you could. I think this might be a little too dry to session.
Hmm.
I think that it would get like really annoying after a while, but I
Hmm.
think this would be a outstanding beer to have with a meal, especially like a steak or
Oh yeah, or yeah.
Mexican or any kind of spicy food,
But yeah, you know, it's actually really close to the Ruination. And my personal opinion, I actually don't like the Ruination, really. I'm not too into heavy Centennial hops. So that's part of the reason why I don't enjoy this specific batch.
I like this one. Um, this might be a little surprising of a rating
Uh-huh.
for Russian because of Russian River's reputation.
Yeah, and they're
Um,
great too.
but I'm gonna give this. I'm gonna give Blind Pig. It's a solid 8 out of 10. It's like like a B plus kind of range.
Hmm.
I know a lot. Most of the beer nerds like anything that these guys make, it automatically gets an A. You know,
Yeah, or like 10 out of 10 or
yeah, or at least a 9 or A minus or
yeah,
whatever.
and it's
But
understandable why. It's because they're damn good, you know. They're definitely good.
I think the main flaw with this beer is that it's a little too one dimensional. Like it's not a very complex beer. Like
Right.
for what the taste that it has is strong, but it's like, okay, you're a musician, you'll get this metaphor. I've
Yeah.
I've I've said this in other episodes. Like there's certain beers I've had where it was complex, like a symphony, but like the
Uh-huh.
actual robustness was low. So it's like turning the volume down. This is
Mm.
kind of like a punk rock song where it's like the volume is loud, but there's only like two chords.
Yeah. That's pretty funny.
What's your final verdict on this?
My final verdict, I keep going back to the good old days of what I remember of Blind Pig. You know, I usually give this a solid 9 out of 10 kind of rating if it goes out of 10 because it's one of my favorite IPAs, like I said. But this specific one, I'm gonna give it a 7. I was thinking more like maybe like 6.5, 7, like in that range, because I don't know, like you said, it is one dimensional, which isn't always bad.
Right.
And I mean, 7 out of 10 isn't bad either. It's just, it's kind of what it is. It's simple. It's a straightforward West Coast IPA, very dry hoppiness. And I think because of the certain amount of brightness that it has, offsets the balance and the hoppiness towards the end that just leaves it really dry. I'll say it's not to my liking, but it doesn't mean that's not a good thing. Some people really enjoy that, but I think the dryness is still kind of it's like, it's not bad, but it's not a good kind of hoppy finish, I
Right.
think. So that's why 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I can see that. Well, I guess it about wraps it up for the Russian River Blind Pig. Again,
Hmm.
thanks to Ryan Stumpy Joe Jr. for sending this to me,
Yeah, right on, Ryan.
and
Booyah.
thanks to Winton for doing this Skype review with me. And stick around because we're gonna do an interview.
Yep.
So thanks for joining us, and again,
Yeah,
cheers.
thanks, Chad.
Yep.
Cheers and come by.
Yep.